Yes, it is DXB today, and tonight we are delving into connecting with cultures, the local culture here in the UAE, not just understanding it, but its nuances as well. And we welcome our next guest, who is the CEO of Infinite Consulting and part of an elite group of global experts specializing in the application of cultural intelligence, a field dedicated to understanding and improving cross-cultural interactions in a global and diverse environment. Please welcome to the show, Emma Jordaan. Emma, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
So let's start with your last name, Jordaan. What culture is your background?
So I'm from the UK, but I'm married to a South African, so the surname is a South African surname.
So what inspired you to be a part of this company?
So the company is a training consultancy that specialises in cultural intelligence. My career has taken me across to lots of different countries around the world, obviously originally from the UK, but then across continental Europe and for the last 10 years here in the UAE. And every time I've gone to a new country, I've recognised that there are some cultural nuances at play that I need to pause and just reflect on, so that then the interactions I'm having with different people.
You've got your work cut out for you here then, with
Absolutely.
so many different cultures.
Yeah, so Dubai is such a multicultural place. And so my efforts aren't necessarily just focusing only on Emirati culture, but it's how can I flex and adapt my approach so that whatever interaction I'm in, it can be a successful one.
So Emma, tell me something. You talk a lot about cultural intelligence. What exactly is the difference between cultural awareness and cultural intelligence?
Sure. So cultural awareness is having an awareness of a culture. So I'm sure most of us are aware of all the different cultures that we experience here. But cultural intelligence is then saying, and how do I apply some intelligence to that? So how do I make sure that when I have interactions with people from different cultures, that I'm willing to flex and adapt my approach and my style so that the interaction can be more effective for both myself and also the other person.
So in your research, how have you gone about actually understanding and putting this into practice? Have you come across a few times where you've actually messed up yourself and then thought, oh no, I've done a, you know what I mean? A misconception on something there. Is that something that you've approached?
Yeah, I mean, I think when we all move to a new country, we make those fatal faux pas that later we think, gosh, why did I behave in that way, or why did I respond in that way? So a few of those are actually mentioned in the book, so you can read all my embarrassing moments. But the book is designed for, whether you're new or old to Dubai, you're able to read through the book, understand cultural values better, understand things like, the fact that there's differences in the way that people communicate, the way that they build relationship, the way that they lead teams, manage their time, all of those things that if you don't understand, especially in the workplace, you could potentially take offence to the way that somebody behaves, misread somebody, suggest that their performance is not fit. And actually, when you understand what's described in the book better, you'll then be able to apply more intelligence around that.
Yeah, I love that, because back in the day, we used to take like breaks between 1 to 4. Within this culture,
yeah.
You know what I mean, and it's like, and that's been lost now.
Bring it back.
Bring it back. And that's due to the heat, right? Yeah. It's the hottest time of the day, so it's kind of like, it's understandable, and how people have got adapted to that. But some people just don't understand it. But you're lazy. You know what I mean? We only take an hour lunch break in Europe. You know what I mean? It's like, no.
Yeah, I think so. Some cultures perceive time as a commodity. So if we have a 9 o'clock appointment scheduled, there's an expectation from that person that you'll be arriving at 9 o'clock. But in other cultures, time is perceived as something that's more flexible. Things change, circumstances. Circumstances change and things happen, and that means that they might arrive at the meeting at 9:10. And that's perfectly acceptable within their culture, but you can immediately see the potential friction that might occur when there's somebody expecting a 9 o'clock appointment to start at 9, and somebody else believing that there's flexibility in that beginning, in the start time. So.
Arab timings, huh?
That's the thing. Now, why it's very important for us to know about cultural intelligence, about maybe getting sessions to know other people's culture. Why do you think it's very important for people to know that?
Well, here in Dubai, it is, as we've been discussing so far this evening, so multicultural. About 92% of the population here is expat. So as much as if we're a visitor to the UAE, as in, we're not born here, but we're now living and working here. We have to respect the Emirati culture because, it's what shapes the values within the country. We may not necessarily be working with Emiratis very frequently, so we need to understand how to adapt our approach to all of the other cultures that we're going to meet on a daily basis. There's about 1,000 people arriving every day, I think is the latest stat, into Dubai, and Vision 2040, the urban master plan, wants the population to double in size, and so we're only going to see more of that, and so it's our job to make sure that we can just be more adaptable to one another.
Do you have examples, something that you got maybe shocked, first of all, when you reached Dubai, you knew more about Emirati culture, something like, oh, they do that, or they don't do that, like something about related to Emirati culture?
I think for me, I found it unusual to see the kind of segregation between male and female, but now obviously being more familiar with the culture, I totally understand the reasons behind that and respect those too.
Brilliant. This is amazing. Emma, you're fascinating, actually. This is really, really good. So what's in for the future with this book? Obviously, do you have another one come in? Do you have more interactive online things and courses like that as well?
Yes, so the book is just part of our offerings. So we offer one-to-one coaching sessions. So if you're newly arriving into Dubai and you want to get a step ahead and understand the culture better, then you can have a coaching session with us. But in the corporate space, where you've got multicultural teams working together, and maybe the leaders want to make sure the teams are going to be working more effectively together, we have corporate workshops where we'll come in, talk to people about the different cultural values, help them to be more self-aware of their own values, and then we help them to understand where they maybe see good collaboration and cohesion, but where they're also potentially going to see friction and frustration, and then how to, as I say, put strategies in place to overcome that.
And that is an important point, because it's not just about, it being the right thing to do, be sensitive, understand cultures. You can use it to do better in business, can't you? You can
Absolutely.
make money.
So companies that have multicultural teams who have applied cultural intelligence into their teams, so they've developed their team in that way, see an increase in productivity, an increase in innovation, an increase in retention in their employees. So there's lots of really positive monetary reasons why we'd also want to do this as well as a business.
Brilliant. How's your Arabic?
Well, I know the very basic words. I'm certainly going to need to speak to Shua to get some more support on that, absolutely.
Thank you so much, Emma, for joining us today and for shedding light on this very important topic about how cultural intelligence is more than just understanding. It's connecting, it's adapting in meaningful ways. So thank you so much for joining us today.